In a Beaufort courtroom, convicted double murderer Alex Murdaugh appeared in court. This is his first public appearance since being sentenced back in March to life in prison 2 times over for murdering his wife and his son.
Well, today a trial date was set for Murdaugh's state financial crimes. News 19's Sam Perez joins us in studio with more on that. Sam?
Alex Murdaugh appeared in front of Judge Clifton Newman on Thursday in Beaufort County. Dick Harpootlian, Jim Griffin, and Philip Barber sat beside him, while prosecuting attorney Creighton Waters asked the judge to schedule a trial before the end of this year.
Alex Murdaugh represents 101 total charges for an alleged loss of almost $8.8 million. This is about allegations that represent an assault on the state judiciary, and because of that, they need to be answered.
Murdaugh's defense team pushed back.
What is the hurry? He's pleading in federal court next Thursday. Every allegation the state has made, the victims will have their day in court. We plead, Mr. Murdaugh indicated he pleads guilty to the state charges, but the state insists on doing them in serial, so they get 3 convictions, so they get life without parole on a guy who's already serving 2 life sentences without parole.
Ultimately, Newman scheduled the new trial date for November 27th. I wanted to know more about what this timeline could mean for both sides, so I reached out to South Carolina defense attorney and former U.S. attorney Pete Strom.
You have victims out there, and under our state constitution, victims have rights. And if they want to have their day in court, then the solicitor, in this case the attorney general who's prosecuting this case, probably decided to give them their day in court.
Strom says he believes that's why the prosecution continues to pursue charges, despite Murdaugh already being behind bars for the murders. When it comes to the defense's pushback,
when you're on the defense side, delay, delay, delay. Okay, the cases never get better. They usually, they usually get worse. And of course, that's a concern if you're a defense lawyer. Everybody's still talking about this case.
But ultimately, Strom tells me he doesn't think the trial date will matter.
The financial crimes are slam dunks. I mean, he's already confessed to those on the stand. That's clearly admissible in his fraud case. Frankly, I'll bet you a lot of money that case won't go to trial. That case will end up being a guilty plea.
There's no timeline on when that could be if Murdaugh does enter a guilty plea. However, Strom tells me it could be within the next few weeks. Reporting in studio, Sam Perez, News 19 WLTX.
Well, Murdaugh was not the only person to appear in court today concerning the financial crimes. Russell Lafitte and Corey Fleming also went in front of Judge Clifton Newman. Andrea has more on that.
Yeah, it was a very long day in court today, so we want to unpack all this for you. Another co-conspirator, Corey Fleming, was sentenced today to 20 years in prison after he admitted to helping Murdaugh steal millions of dollars from his clients. Now, Fleming is a former attorney and was a very close friend of Alex. He pleaded guilty last month to fraud stemming from the settlement money from the death of Murdaugh's former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, and other cases as well. Well, in court today, his attorney said Fleming was the first to come forward and admit guilt, the first to repay money, and the first to cooperate with prosecutors. At one point, she had his wife and his parents stand up to acknowledge their support for Fleming. When that happened, Fleming wept in court. But in the end, Judge Clifton Newman called him to the bench and said, "My heart bleeds for you because I have no doubt of the quality of human being you are, but you must suffer the consequences of your actions." So Fleming will serve 10 years in state prison and then 10 years concurrent to the sentence he is serving now on his federal conviction. All right, that was one of the co-conspirators. Here is now the other. Russell Lafitte was also in this same courtroom today. Now, he is the former CEO of Palmetto State Bank. He is still waiting on a decision for a trial date for his charges. Judge Newman decided to revisit the issue to make the final decision in the coming weeks. Now, he is facing 21 counts of financial crimes involving stealing $8 million from clients. Lafitte's attorneys are are asking for a fall of 2025 trial, with the state arguing it should come much quicker. Lafitte has already been sentenced to 7 years behind bars for his federal crimes after being found guilty of helping Murdaugh steal more than $3.7 million from their victims. Now, of course, this was a lot today. Like I said, a lot going on in court, a lot to unpack. We have more of our coverage at WLTX.com.